And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream, a dream, a dream. Rowboat. Is that what the game is about? Is it peaceful? Well, actually, Rowboat is a trick-taking game. You've played trick-taking games before, I'm sure, like Hearts or Spades, or if you played some really good ones, like David and Goliath, or the Bottle Imp and such. But this is a trick-taking game, and it's a trick-taking game that has some... I guess I don't know if it's a public domain game or not, because I haven't heard of it before, but you're bidding on how many tricks you're going to win. But there is what we call the knob in this game, where you can win a trick by playing the exact same color card from the other suit that matches the color. Well, let me show you how the game works, and then I'll tell you if I like it. Rowboat is a trick-taking game, and in it there's a deck of cards, and these cards have 4 different suits. We have oars, compass, shells, and waves, and they're really basically a standard deck of cards in a sense, because everything's the same, with the exception of the special cards here. You can see that there's a dolphin, and then there's a mermaid, and there's Seeker is the S, and then a whale. How do you remember which one's better than the other one? Well, you just go in alphabetical order. W is the most powerful, S is more powerful than A, which is more powerful than M, which is more powerful than D. There's also your anchor, or your ace, which is the weakest card a player has. So, the first thing you do at the beginning of each round of the game is you're going to turn over cards for the tide. And what that means is you turn over cards until you have all 4 suits, or... Now there's all 4 suits, or until you get to a certain number. 10 in a 3 to 4 player game, 12 higher than that. So here we have 6 cards that are out, and this is called the tide. You will then deal that number of cards to each player. So here, for example, I have 7 cards. Each player will draw 7 cards. And then you start with one person, and you go around. This is a trick-taking game, so I'm going to assume if you're watching, you know how trick-takings are. The player has to play the suit of the card here. That's almost always what you have to play if you have it. If not, you can play anything you want. And then you will see who wins the trick. Now, the most powerful card to win each trick is the same exact card in the same color, but obviously a different suit because there's only one of each color. So the most powerful card to win this green whale is the other green whale. So if that card is played, whoever plays that wins the trick. After that, whoever plays the highest card of that suit. So for example, it's shells. If I play a 2 shells and everyone else plays a different suit, I will win. But if everyone plays shells, or more than one person plays shells, whoever plays the highest shell is the winner of that trick. After that, if no one plays that, the next highest is if you play a whale of the other color. So if I play that card, but it's the opposite color, one of the blue whales, then that person wins. Or otherwise, after that, simply whoever plays the highest card wins the trick. And you'll keep doing that. You go for each trick of the game, and you get 10 points for each trick, and you play to a certain amount of points. That's the basic game. The advanced game adds a couple things. First of all, each player or team, if you have 4 players, you play in 2 teams of 2. Each player gets a rowboat, a moon, and a lighthouse. A moon, kind of thematically, lets you put out a full tide. Lighthouse lets you look at an opponent's hand once per game. And the rowboat can be played once a game to win any trick. It's more powerful than even the knob. The knob is the term for the other color of the other exact match of that letter and color. So those are knobs, and then there's off-color knobs and trump suits, etc. The other thing that's added in the base game is a bidding. After you see your cards and you look at the tide in front of you, you can bid, and you think how many tricks you are going to win. Everyone bids that, and then you note that down and you begin. So let's say there's 7 tricks here, and I say I can win 3 of them. If I say I can win 3 of them, and I actually win 4 tricks, well, yay. I get 40 points. However, I also get 1 negative point against me. Okay, this point against me, it's called a sandbag. If I get 5 of these sandbags, then I'm going to lose 100 points. So I don't want to go over. I'm trying to get exactly. If I say I'm going to win 3 tricks, however, and I win 2, then I lose 30 points. So you'll find yourself losing points a lot in this game because you're constantly trying to get the exact number of tricks. If you go over, that's bad. If you go under, that's worse. So there's a lot of different things involved, and there's bidding involved in the game. So that's basically it. It's just a variation on a trick-taking game. I suppose you could play it with a regular deck of cards, but the artwork is very nice, and I do like the suits. I like trick-taking games. I have quite a few of them on the shelves behind me. And I have Die Seven Segal, or the Seven Seals as the English version is called. That's one of my favorite, and that's one where you try to predict exactly what tricks you're going to win. Rowboat also reminds me of in college. A lot of times we played Rook, where you tried to predict how many points you were going to take. This has a similar feel to that. I'm not really sure where I stand on Rowboat at this time. I like it. I think it's interesting that you're following that tide that you play out there. And to me, you have to play with the bidding. If you don't play with the bidding, there's not much of a game there. It's very light, too light. The bidding adds a level to it, especially with partners, because you're trying to bid, and using your bid let your partner know kind of what you have. You're allowed to talk to your partner, but you're not allowed to overly communicate. I mean, whatever you communicate, everyone else hears too. So you got to be careful how you talk about it. I'm just not sure on this knob thing, because the knob lets you automatically win one. So when you look at knobs, you know you're going to win those tricks. Now, you could play a knob earlier and mess up your hand, I suppose, or maybe, I don't know. When someone plays a knob, then I guess the strategy is what other cards should you get rid of from your hand. So it's a very intriguing game. I haven't played another trick-taking game like it. I like to get some more plays in my belt. I like the theming. The artwork is really nice. You wonder, did it need to be published by itself? I guess so. And why couldn't this just be published as a set of rules? But people wouldn't buy a set of rules. So it's interesting. It works best by far with partners and with the advanced game. So check it out. If you're a person who likes these trick-taking games, this one might interest you in looking at that with the trump changing every round. And there's luck in the game, obviously, as there is in any of these games. But there's a good deal of strategy here in Rowboat.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.